Romshinators, Romshinators, it is so good to be back speaking with you once again. Today we are talking about a topic which has taken most of my life to figure out. This is the topic of how to creatively express yourself within the confines of a dystopian and soul-crushing system. Which only goal, that's only goal is to smash the creativity out of you like a toothpaste. To smash it out like some sort of weird paste, some sort of weird consumer product. Every time you're creative, you have to be thinking, will people like this? Will people buy this? How am I gonna make this into a TikTok video? How am I gonna make this into a palatable thing for the youth? You see, in my opinion, I haven't looked any of this up, but I think creativity is like kind of like a guiding light. It's like a torch which has carried humanity for billions of years through different star systems, through different incarnations, all the way up to Earth, through the dinosaur periods. When giant spiders walked the earth, mankind hid in caves and sang songs to keep themselves safe at night. Do you think when your ancestors were hiding in caves from giant spiders, singing to keep themselves warm and to keep their spirits high, do you think they ever thought one day Taylor Swift would be going down the highway in a motorcade, causing massive traffic for an entire city of people because she's gonna sing a song herself? Probably not even as good a song as the anti-spider songs they were singing back then. Romshinators, follow me here. Follow me here. I know I'm going crazy. I'm going off the rails right away. But you have more in common with your ancestors hiding from giant spiders and dinosaurs inside of caves than you do from any modern musical celebrity or creative celebrity, whatever your art may be. I mean, I'm a musician, so I see all this stuff through the lens of a musical artist, but whatever your creative outlet is, the same applies. I mean, in those same caves when they were hiding from the pterodactyls, when they were hiding from the Mothman, they were hiding from the giant spiders, they were singing songs, they were painting pictures on the walls. They were acting out plays of what they were gonna do once they got out of the cave. And they were doing these things because it's good for the human spirit. Not because they thought it was going to make them famous, not because they thought it was going to make them money, not because they thought somebody was going to like them on TikTok, not because they thought, hey, you know, I'm getting kind of old to be painting pictures on the cave walls like this. I really got to get my shit together. I better get out there and get a big Triceratops steak. It all existed in harmony. This is how I imagine it. You would get the Triceratops steak, you would come home, you'd feed the steak to your cave children, and then you'd draw a picture of the Triceratops on the cave wall as a creative expression of what you had done so that people would know what your life was like. And you guys could all share the experience together and bond and be merry and have fun and get through those hard nights hiding from the giant spiders that roam the lands looking for cave people to eat. And it's this very light of creativity that we need to keep inside of us in this modern world with all these amenities and with all these different thoughts being put into our head. Are you following me, Romshinators? Is this making sense? So how do we keep this light burning inside of us that's been burning for 1,000,000 billion years? And our soul is born into this world and this light starts to grow as a child. I remember when I was a child, when I was a kid, my mind was so creative, I couldn't even stay in reality. My brain was so on fire with creative visions that I would just walk around. Sometimes even at school, I wouldn't even try to make friends or anything. I would just walk around and imagine stuff all day. I would imagine different worlds, characters. I would imagine whole storylines, movies. I wouldn't even have to write anything down. It's like all these worlds just existed in my mind. You can hear my roommates moaning in the next room. I don't know what's going on in there. I think someone's taking a fat shit. I remember all these worlds existed in my brain. All these worlds existed in my mind. And as you get older, people start to tell you, hey, get your head in reality. You're gonna fail the test. Hey, get your head in reality. Stop doodling on the side of your notebooks. Hey, get your head in reality. You have to pick your courses for high school next year. Hey, get your head in reality. You're gonna have to think about what you're doing for the rest of your life. Hey, life's coming at you. All of a sudden, responsibilities get thrusted on you. Tragedies begin to befall you, and you begin to lose that spark. Those worlds of imagination in your mind become suffocated under these wet blankets of life and of society. And many of us don't make it out alive. Many of us who start as very creative kids enter adulthood neutered, our creative testicles snipped by this brutalist, consumerist world, where even if we are creative, we have to see it through the lens of consumerism, see it as something that somebody else is going to want to buy, somebody else is going to want to watch, somebody else is going to want to listen to. And that somebody else isn't your fellow cave person trapped in the cave. It's some sort of stranger swiping on their phone, some sort of entity, parasocial situation, which will never leave us satisfied, no matter how many people we get our art out there to. I originally wanted to do another episode on UAPs, but this information, this rant that's coming through right now, it's just much too important. Because the world is closing in on us, like a bear trap closes in on the leg of an unsuspecting park ranger. And it will slowly steal away all of our time until we cannot be creative anymore. So the point of this video is to not paint a picture of doom and gloom, but it is to teach you a couple ways that I think you can get your creativity back on track. You see, I think creativity is on a spectrum. You know, some people are way at the end of the spectrum. They're okay with doing a wine and painting night once a year. They'll go to the local gelato place with their friends. They'll get a little paint by numbers thing going. They'll paint it. They'll have a sip of wine. They'll feel that delicious, sweet nectar coming down through the top of their heads from the universe. That nectar is, of course, creativity. They'll feel it flowing within their system. It will fill their cup, and they will be good for another year. And then as we proceed down the spectrum, we get near the end, where there's some people that they need to be creative every single day, or else they'll be totally upset. I count myself among these people. If I don't have a creative outlet almost every day, I get very upset. I get very anxious. I get depressed. And I don't necessarily want there to be all these strings attached to this creativity. And although today we're going to go over a few very practical ways to attack this, it's important to understand that most of this is happening within your own mind. It's your own expectations. You grew up watching these movies of these crazy success stories, of these montages. You're going to be Destiny's darling. You're going to put out your art. Someone's going to see it. It's going to blow up. You're going to be famous. You're going to be a legend. Everyone's going to be looking at you. Everyone's going to be looking at your sexy art. And they're all going to want to taste. You're going to have your moment in the sun. Well, let me get one thing straight to you. As Manly P. Hall said, you are not Destiny's darling. And you can try all you want, but believe me, it's better to take a more stoic mindset about your artistic success and understand that you can't really control that. You can do everything you can, but it's most important that you spend your mental energy not worrying about whether it's going to be successful and direct that back into the creativity itself. And understand that life is very difficult as it is, and creativity is more of an outlet to relieve your stress and to become who you really are. And I want you to imagine yourself in that cave, hiding from the giant spiders and the triceratopses and the pterodactyls with your cave family. You're scared, but you have that bright light burning within you of creativity that's going to make you sing a song together to keep the giant spiders away, that's going to make you paint a picture on the cave walls, that's going to make you sing as you leave the next day and you go out into the woods and you don't quite know what's going to happen, and you're singing a song together that makes you strong, it makes you smile, it makes you laugh. One of the best ways to get yourself closer to this type of creativity, I find, is to understand that there's a big difference between the ideas that your brain can come up with and the ideas that you can execute. For instance, I'm a musician. I used to be in a band with 6 people. So if I had that as my only creative outlet, I had to organize 5 other human beings to show up in the same place at the same time and have them all get along, set up all their equipment, have all the equipment work, and then start playing. Already you can tell by the time we would get started playing, there's about 15 or 20 things that could have happened that could make this a totally stressful experience. And although I love doing that sort of thing, getting a group of people together to play and be creative, if that's our only outlet, we have about 10 or 20 variables keeping us from our creativity. So if we do have something like this, let's say a band, or let's say a theater troupe, or an improv group, or an open mic night that we can't quite make it to, it's important that we have something we can do every night on our own that's going to help us satisfy that creativity. And sometimes that might look like writing songs on an acoustic guitar that you can play and sing. And maybe you bring those songs to the band later, or maybe you don't. Maybe you start to think, you know what? We already have all these songs we're working on with the band. Not every song I do has to go with that. All of a sudden you start your own little acoustic side project. You start coming up with ideas you can execute on your own. You start thinking of ways that you can make powerful ideas happen with just a few simple things at home. And if you start to do this and use your mind in this way, you can be a little bit more creative every single day, and you can keep that spark going within yourself. And if you can keep that spark going and let your creativity breathe daily and not have it suffocated for a week and, oh, the band practice is coming, oh, my big night's coming where I get to be creative, but let's say it doesn't happen, oh, then you're all depressed. Well, if you can do it a little bit every day, the flame will still grow. And we live in a time period where it's easier than ever to do this sort of thing. You can start a podcast for like $300. You get a basic microphone, get a little interface, start talking, start telling stories. You can get GarageBand, you can get Ableton, you can get Pro Tools and start making full arrangements on your computer on your own. You can pull up Microsoft Word and start writing a book. And when you do that, your mind might start conjuring these images like, hey, no one's gonna like this, or hey, this is gonna be the best. People are gonna be playing this. Oh, people are never gonna play this. No one's gonna hear this. All these ideas, whether they're grandiose ideas or whether they're down in the dumps ideas, they have nothing to do with the creativity, because you can be excited to just be creative and just to make art. You don't even need inspiration to make art. You can just make art for art's sake. You can just start doing it and get excited. And it's also important to set up your space so that when you get home at the end of the day, you can jump right into it if you want to. You see, I actually planned this whole thing. I actually got this dresser because it was the exact size I needed to put this pedal board on top of it. And I knew that I could just slide this over, pull the microphone in, and bam, I was recording. Bam, romshii radio was going. I don't have to reinvent this every week. I just slide my dresser over, put my sunglasses on, and I start recording. And this way I can be creative every week. And then I just put it in the editing software, and I throw some shit in the corner here. This green cube, which has something in it, I don't know what. And all of a sudden I have a piece of art, which I'm proud of, which I've made. And which hopefully somebody's watching. If you're watching this right now, thank you so much. I know this has been kind of an off-the-cuff, crazy episode. I appreciate you so much. If you're watching it this far, I want you to say down below, I'm not scared of giant spiders. I want you to say that down below. Please, if you want. No pressure. This video is titled something along the lines of how to be a self-generating artist. And what I mean by that is an artist who generates their art from within themselves and completes some of it as well on their own. For instance, if you want to make a movie, I know that you're probably not going to be able to do all the acting yourself, all the special effects yourself. You're not going to be able to buy all the fancy cameras. You're not going to be able to come up with the $10 million it's going to need to complete your idea. But goddamn, if you can't go home every day and write a few pages of a script, or if you want to turn it into a book, or if you want to write it into a comic and just do little pictures, and if you want to finish that, little script or that book, and you want to revise it and maybe send it out to an editor, get it real good and real tight and as good as you can get it. If you start doing that, things are going to start to happen. And I'm not saying that you're going to get some big movie deal. I'm not saying that all the pieces are going to fall into place, but people are going to see that and they're going to want to do stuff with you. I swear to God, that's how it happens. You start doing stuff and people see you're the type of person that's self-generating, that does things on their own, that has that creative spark burning, and that doesn't need that outside validation all the time. And if you're getting stuff done and you're saying, hey, I have a movie idea. Oh yeah? What kind of idea? Oh, well, I actually have this whole script right here. It's like my third draft. I also have a storyboard here. I did this all myself at home. I'm very creatively satisfied because I listen to romshii radio. that makes the chances better. And you know, I guess my main point being, maybe I should have started with this, is that a lot of people, when they have this big idea to make this movie or this album or whatever it is, or this book, they see the end picture, they get overwhelmed, and they don't even start. All you got to do is write the first draft. Just write the first page, generate it from that fire within. It's that same fire, it's with you. It's been with you. It's been with us for billions of years. It's been with us since we were single-celled organisms, and it will be with us until we are all giant black holes in the sky, swallowing planets and universes and spitting them out into quantum timelines, the likes of which we're never supposed to know. It's going to be with us then as well. And on that note, I'm actually going to just make some music now. I think I've said enough. I'm not sure if this rant really made sense, so please let me know down below. If you like this video, thank you very much, romshinators. I feel like I really got something out there. I'm gonna make some music. Feel free to hang out if you'd like. Thank you so much, Romshinators. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Let's stay creative. We don't have to be scared of giant spiders or triceratopses anymore, but we are often scared of losing our souls. So let's not lose our souls. Let's be creative.